In fourth dhyana's equal state, three pure realms self-manifest. As ordered blossoms bloom, all things come to rest. Realms, time, gods and mortals, void as dreams that fade. In Naga's steadfast samadhi, wind calamities evade. Fear not the river of Lethe, though hard it be to cross. Meet every furious gale, and stand against its force. In weary sleep, or drunken rest, in common deed remain. One thought arising brings all fourth dhyana peace again.
The southern heavenly gate glows with myriad auspicious radiance. The Dharma throne's light gathers celestial brilliance. In Chatur Maharajika heaven, the four great Chatur Maharajas sit upright on their Dharma seats, each holding a sacred artifact, jointly consecrating a solemn Dharma altar. At this moment, the lords of each celestial city follow the four great Chatur Maharajas, treading auspicious clouds to emerge. Some are clad in golden armour, glinting with bright lustre. Some wear solemn mien, their majestic aura striking. Some don white mail, their jade-hued glow coalesced. Some bear auspicious countenances, their ethereal grace flowing. Some remain calm and dignified, exuding awe-inspiring celestial majesty. Among the cities of Chatur Maharajika heaven, the wise celestial beings split into two groups. One is utterly reverent towards knowledge and prostrates themselves before the truth. The other considers themselves to have created new knowledge, believing that knowledge does not exist since time immemorial. At the heart of this realm stands an octagonal debate platform that spans the 8 cardinal directions, and billowing cloud banners unfurl protective barriers. Da Du Ye, the Lord of Heavenly Veneration City in the northern celestial domain, whose eyes hold starlight and voice booms like thunder, takes the lead to inquire,
"Who among you can prove that you have invented new knowledge?"
At that moment, scholars from all quarters gather in throngs upon the debate platform, each bearing their own treatises, and speak.
We were once ignorant infants in the human realm. Through our own striving, we bequeathed a wealth of works to humankind, and have been admired and eulogized by scholars of later generations.
To this day, the garlands adorning us and the aura surrounding us still shine brightly, nourished by the merit we accrued on Sahar Earth in those days. Are not these treatises and deeds of ours, visible to the eye and tangible to the touch, undeniable facts?
Who else wishes to prove that new knowledge cannot be invented?
At that moment, Satoye, Lord of Heavenly Allegiance City, humbles his stature to match the height of the celestial beings, makes a graceful appearance upon the debate platform, and asks in a solemn voice,
"Tell me, who among you is born with plenary knowledge? Who attains perfect knowledge without any teacher or book whatsoever? Do not your ancient ancestors acquire knowledge only through the teachings of their teachers? I ask you, how can a towering tree grow without a seed as its origin? Is there any new knowledge that is invented not rooted in the seed source of knowledge? Can any newly invented knowledge eternally transcend its seed source?"
All the scholars hang their heads in silence, having no reply to offer, and withdraw from the debate platform. In the meantime, several wise celestial beings rise solemnly, and quietly withdraw from the self-created new knowledge domain. Huo Da Ye, Lord of the Eastern Heavenly Virtue City, stands with a solemn countenance and asks in a grave voice,
"Who among you can prove that you have attained the true singular knowledge?"
Numerous scholars suddenly appear upon the debate platform, each holding their treatises and also grasping sacred ropes, streamers, dharma cords, and other ritual implements forged from condensed energy, and declare one after another,
I know the universe's sole geometric model.
I know the universe's sole mathematical calculation formula.
I know the universe's sole physical law.
I know the universe's sole chemical law.
I know the universe's sole entropy increase law.
I know the universe's sole space-time evolution law.
I know the universe's sole eidos law.
Who else would prove that true singular knowledge is unattainable?
At that moment, Da Qi-Ye, Lord of Heavenly Ore City, also humbles his stature to the celestial being's height, steps onto the debate platform and asks,
Tell me, whose attained sole knowledge embraces all other singular laws? If one has not attained knowledge that embraces all singular laws, can what he has attained be called absolute knowledge? If it cannot, his knowledge is but soul knowledge within a relative scope. Hence, can absolute knowledge be expressed through words, numbers, or models? We may infer the singular absolute knowledge is formless and incorporeal, transcending all words, numbers, and models. Thus, all the soul knowledge within your relative scopes is but a tool to grasp it, not true knowledge itself.
Once again, the scholars hang their heads in silence, with no answer to give, and withdraw from the platform. In the meantime, several wise celestial beings rise solemnly and quietly exit the self-created new knowledge domain. Xiloye, Lord of the Southern Heavenly Clarity City, stands majestic and asks,
Who among you can prove you have attained knowledge superior to all other living beings?
At that moment, numerous scholars appear again on the debate platform, each with treatises, flowers, sacred vases, or precious pearls, and declare,
The mental dimension of my knowledge transcends that of the human realm. This is fact.
The extensive cognition from my knowledge surpasses all that of humankind. This is fact.
My ability to distill key insights from boundless knowledge outstrips all human summative capacities. This is fact.
My capacity to swiftly identify the best and worst approaches from core knowledge exceeds all human analytical faculties. This is fact.
My power to predict the future evolution of every possibility in infinite knowledge surpasses all human predictive acumen. This is fact.
Who else would prove that all knowledge is equal and none superior in the face of the singular knowledge?
At that moment, Dadoye, Lord of Heavenly Veneration City, also humbles his stature to match the celestial being's height, appears on the debate platform, and asks,
Your knowledge is merely a relative fact, derived from comparison with the human realm's mental dimension. Absolute fact, by contrast, is the singular knowledge transcending all living beings. To claim you have attained knowledge superior to others is but an illusion, rooted in your own frame of reference. Like creatures on the Earth's surface, some leap 3,000 meters, some 120, some 5. In the boundless expanse of the sky, none have truly leaped at all. It is nothing but a delusion born of self-comparison with the limited crowd you know. Knowledge is inherently of non-dual oneness. Thus, all comparisons between relative knowledge and eternity are meaningless.
Once again, the scholars hang their heads in silence, with no answer to give, and withdraw from the platform. In the meantime, several wise celestial beings rise solemnly and quietly exit the self-created new knowledge domain. Zhizuye, Lord of the Western Heavenly Perfect Vision City, asks calmly and unassumingly,
Who among you can prove you can attain the truth?
Numerous scholars suddenly appear on the debate platform, each bearing treatises. Some hold glowing dragon-headed canes, others shimmering star-ray staffs, still others golden scepters and gem-encrusted staffs, all in fine robes with wide sashes, heads held high in pride. At that moment, Jizuye also humbles his stature to match the celestial being's height, steps onto the platform and asks,
Tell me, who can prove they will surely attain the truth?
A celestial being, holding a golden scepter and bearing his treatise, declares,
I possess infinite vitality and eternal youth. I pursue nothing but truth, and shall never let go until I attain it.
Suppose at some point you believe you have grasped the truth, with no more truth left to pursue. Tell me, will you still strive onward?
The celestial being with the golden scepter pales at these words and retreats in alarm. A celestial being, holding a jade scepter and bearing his treatise, declares,
I possess boundless humility, having paid homage to every teacher across the three realms. I learn from any teacher I encounter, pursue nothing but truth, and shall never yield until I attain it.
Suppose at some point you believe you have grasped the truth, with no more teachers or truths left to pursue. Tell me, will you still keep seeking out teachers?
The celestial being with the jade scepter is struck with awe at these words and flees in panic. A celestial being, clutching a diamond serpent staff and bearing aloft his sacred treatise, proclaims,
Endowed with boundless divine power, I know all dharmic ways. In all that pertains to the path, my devotion is absolute. I pursue naught but the truth, and shall never abandon the quest until I attain it.
Suppose at some moment you deem yourself to have grasped the truth, with no more dharmic ways to seek, no more truth to pursue. Tell me, will you still press onward in your unwavering devotion to the truth?
The celestial being with the diamond serpent staff shudders at the words and flees in frantic haste. A celestial being, clutching a celestial treasure eagle staff and bearing aloft his sacred treatise, proclaims,
Endowed with boundless capacity for learning, I rely on self-reflection and dedicate myself utterly to reason and beauty. I pursue naught but the truth, and shall never abandon the quest until I attain it.
Suppose at some moment you deem yourself to have grasped the truth, with no more reason and beauty to revere, no more truth to pursue. Tell me, will you still persist in your contemplation?
The celestial being with the celestial treasure eagle staff is struck with dread at the words and retreats in dismay. A celestial being, clutching an infinite treasure dragon-headed staff and bearing his sacred treatise, proclaims,
Endowed with endless disciples, each blessed with boundless wisdom, I have infinite teaching capacity. Devoted utterly to truth, I shall never abandon the quest till I attain it.
Suppose at some moment you deem yourself to have grasped the truth, with no more teaching to dedicate yourself to, no more truth to pursue. Tell me, will you still remain utterly devoted to both?
The celestial being with the infinite treasure dragon-headed staff is seized with terror at the words and stumbles away. At that moment, the six lords spoke as one.
If you know not the primal essence of knowledge,
all knowledge thus came into form is but wood without roots, water without a source, illusion without a foundation.
The Dharma incongruent with the Dharma of myriads of knowledge arising from the void.
In that instant, most celestial beings, awakened to the truth, entered the domain of knowledge exists from time immemorial, oneself is humbled. Only a handful cling fast to their domain of creating new knowledge and discovering truth by one's own might. At that moment, Vaishravana, the northern heavenly king of the all-hearing, clutching his sacred parasol, proclaims in a resounding voice,
As teacher and disciples, in your pursuit of the truth and eternal knowledge, be bold enough to realize at all times that all the knowledge you have acquired in every domain under heaven may be utterly meaningless within the bounds of this very space-time. Though terror grips you at the thought of its eternality, you must at every moment acknowledge the utter meaninglessness of the knowledge you have attained and everything attached to it. Do not perish in the complacency trap that these knowledge concepts have bred within you.
No sooner does Dhritarashtra speak than several celestial beings, stirred to understanding, withdraw with reverence. At that moment, Dhritarashtra, the eastern heavenly king of the state upholding, speaks likewise.
As teacher and disciples, in your pursuit of the truth and eternal knowledge, be bold enough to realize at all times that knowledge is not forged by indoctrination or accumulation, let alone can it be claimed through bribery, coercion, scheming, domination, rigidification, and the like. Knowledge springs from minds that think with the utmost spiritual freedom. It can only grow anew when it surges forth spontaneously from within, unshackled by the need for any external permission or the power to acquire it. Though you quake in dread at the thought of being ensnared by the shackles feigned from others' independent thinking, fettering your inner freedom to learn, and perishing in the illusory beauty of knowledge borrowed from others, you must never delude yourself into believing you have attained the truth.
No sooner does Dhritarashtra speak than several celestial beings, stirred to understanding, withdraw with reverence. At that moment, Viruddhaka, the southern heavenly king of the merit increasing, speaks with solemn gravity.
As teacher and disciples, in your pursuit of the truth and eternal knowledge, be bold enough to realize at all times that the merit of your disciples and the scale of their achievements are irrelevant to the self. Never let the self forfeit the mindset and capacity to reach for the eternal truth, nor abandon the aspiration to uphold the civilization of your nation and people and pass down the eternal knowledge. Lest you sink into the illusory complacency bred by the blind pursuit of knowledge, power, status, wealth, and fame, and forfeit your right to stand as a vanguard of your nation and people's civilization.
No sooner does Virudaka speak than several celestial beings, stirred to awakening, withdraw, one and all. At that moment, Virupaksha, the Western Heavenly King of the Wide-Seeing, speaks with serene composure.
As teacher and disciples, in your pursuit of the truth and eternal knowledge, be bold enough to realize at all times that you must seek absolute eternal knowledge, and knowledge that stands as unerring truth. This is the historical mission of disciples, and also their sense of historical responsibility in the transmission of their civilization. Should you cling to learning and teaching false or ambiguous knowledge, you shall commit a transgression in 33 heavens, and be branded a public enemy of the eternal civilization of all living beings, to be brought to justice. This is the faith of disciple, the faith of teacher, and the faith of the eternal civilization passed down from generation to generation.
All the celestial beings of the Chatur Maharajika heaven chime in as one, pour forth a divine chorus and proclaim,
Teacher must not hearken to the doctrines and preachings outside the inner heart, but uphold the inner teacher's Tao.
Teacher is not a servant of knowledge or power, but an offspring of truth's future.
Teacher must not yield to the whims of likes and dislikes, but be wholeheartedly devoted to the singular truth.
Teacher is not a creator of new knowledge or civilization, but the watchman of the eternality.
Teacher must not be tamed by power, wealth, fame, and sensual pleasures, but cling to the absolute fact of truth.
Teacher is not one who forges a scholarly life of their own, but one who merges into the very life of truth.
When the chorus fades, several celestial beings, stirred to awakening, withdraw from the debate platform. Only a handful of those who disdain the pursuit of knowledge remain, clinging obstinately to the belief that the four heavenly kings' words are nothing but empty platitudes, and that they alone are the creators of new knowledge and the true defenders of truth.
Thank you.